Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age in class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
By the Glass, I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, and I'm welcoming you to explore a wonderful world of wine, beer, spirits, and everything in between. And we're definitely joined by my, Dio's right there in Jason's chair. Hey,
by my Dio.
By my Dio, yeah, absolutely. I've been that on the board.
Yes, I am.
Wonderful and lovely Paige Nast in studio. Well, thank you so much for coming, Paige. You know, we love having you here. You are our resident mixologist, and you do such a great job. And we couldn't even pull today's show off if you didn't come in and help us out, because we have Mr. Alex Catena on the show. Alex was the 2012 International Bartender of the Year. He's traveled all over the United States, just recently setting up all the Langhams around the country. With he's invented amazing drinks, and he's reveled as one of the best mixologists in the world, and he'll be calling in about 6:15, and we're going to be making some specialty drinks with him on the phone. And actually, that's why Paige is here. She's going to actually make these drinks by proxy with him on the phone, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Some interesting drinks that he's come up with here, right, Paige?
Definitely.
The Leviathan 2 and the Royal Cobbler. Speaking of these a little bit, I mean, what were some of your experiences while trying to come up with the raw essentials for these drinks?
It was a bit of a challenge. There was definitely some Googling involved.
Right.
These cocktails in particular that we're going to make were a little bit easier to source than the cocktails that he's actually doing the tour on,
Right.
that he named after a couple different cities.
Yes.
Those were some very intricate ingredients. I'm not even sure if some of them are available.
Well, I'm going to ask him about that. The Social Club, Back to the Future, Skylines, and Lady Pink.
Right.
All very, very interesting stuff.
And I would love to taste them. But all these drinks really look amazing. So it was really kind of fun to kind of delve into what he's doing here.
Yeah. I mean,
And,
he's interesting. I watched some YouTube videos, and he definitely can work a crowd. He's got everybody screaming and hollering, hooting. And, you know, he just makes all these drinks really fast, and he's just, like, super quick and just pulls it off crazy. So, very interesting stuff. How have you been? How's everything going?
I've been great. Super busy.
Really? Fantastic. Yeah, I know. So last time you were in on the show, you were talking about a few different concepts you were working on. Is that all moving forward?
Yes. Like anything, it's taken some time, but we're still moving forward with that and opening up 2 more locations for Tap 42.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard about that. That's
Yes.
pretty impressive. So there'll be one a little further north in Broward, up around the North Lauderdale area.
Right, around
northern
Pompano.
part of, yeah. And then one further south, correct?
Yes, down in the Gables.
So everybody down in Miami gets to have a little taste of Tap 42. So
Yeah.
that's very cool. Yeah, excellent. So, I mean, the title of the show today is Mixology. Now, what does that mean to you, George?
It's a science. It's an art. It's those of us who like drinking really appreciate bartenders, especially people like Paige and our guest. Alex?
Yeah, Alex.
I'll remember it eventually. Because, if you like cocktails, and I really like cocktails, I like surprises, I like trying something new, and the mixologists are responsible for that. And Paige, I know that's her job. She just sits there all day long, concocting things. And
it's a terrible job.
It must be horrible, all that pressure on you to come up with delicious drinks all the time. But we appreciate your work out here. Those of us who like to go to bars and have cocktails, the way that fans appreciate musicians when we go to concerts. We bar going people really really appreciate the art and the science that goes into mixology, because I do believe that it's something that you have to study. It's not something that,
something you
just
throw
anyone
together.
can do. You have to have good taste buds. You have to have creativity, and then you have to have an understanding of all of these different products and how they go together. You're going to make something nasty.
So,
Yeah.
what if that was your definition? If I asked you, what mixology, what would the definition be to you, Paige?
It's kind of a word that is either frowned upon or like something that you take pride in. I think a lot of
Okay.
people now, when people use that term, they think it's like pretentious. But
Huh.
I think there really is kind of like a difference between just pouring a drink like a vodka soda and actually making up your own drink and, you know, really understanding ingredients and kind of like going through a flavor journey with cocktails.
First time I heard the words simple syrup. Or page. Like, really? So syrup can be simple?
It can be.
I thought it was complicated.
It's funny. I was going around. I was talking to people this week, and it came up at least 2 or 3 times how you reduce the beers, the Leviathan, or whatever one you want, to create your simple syrup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was in a few different bars, and we were talking about it, mixology as a whole. And then we also had Rob Burr on the show last week. It was a great show. He is the Miami rum XP expert, and he also handles the rum Renaissance. So we were talking to him. That rum Renaissance coming up April 25th. Are you interested in going at all? Do you
I don't know
anything
much about
it?
that, actually.
Yeah, well, I can probably get you some passes. He was going to send us a bunch of trade passes for the trade. It's on the
Mm-hmm.
25th. That's a Friday. And he said that he would send us passes. You would love it. I mean,
Big
like-
rum party?
it's huge, and he's a pretty cool guy. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but anyway, so it definitely came up, and people were very intrigued by that. The whole using the beer as a simple syrup.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that literally I was like, I wonder if anyone's ever done this. And because I was just kind of, with the beer cocktails, trying to figure out how to concentrate that flavor and not get it watered down.
How do you keep it from isomerizing, like really getting bitter when you cook it?
I mean, you balance it with sugar.
Okay, you continue to balance it until.
Right.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So it really is like a flavor creator, as well as of creating viscosity and.
It definitely is. And we've played around with different beers in it too. But like especially when one of them went out of stock, we kind of counterbalanced it with another beer.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's actually 4 beers, but
Oh, my stomach. So how does what new drinks have you made?
well, actually,
talking about all this
tomorrow we are starting our first cocktail on tap.
Wow, how does
Yes.
that work?
Well, what we did is I created a cocktail. It's kind of a spin on a Moscow Mule. It's very similar.
Those are so popular right now.
They are. We have the copper mugs and everything, which I'm sure everyone's going to steal, but I'm going to hope not.
Yeah, they'll steal them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
but please don't. But instead of using a ginger beer, what we did is we took Tito's vodka and we infused it with citrus
Nice.
and ginger for about a week. And then I kegged that with kind of a house-made ginger liqueur and some lemon. And then I carbonated it.
So you're using a corny keg?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes, so I had to learn all about
So
that
you fell
from scratch.
you fell upon the magnificent Phil Palmisano for some advice on how to use all that stuff.
I did, yes. That kind of came in handy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was kind of me like hoping nothing like literally exploded on me.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
But it was,
Yeah, because you have to force carbonate it, right?
right. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about it, so I just kind of started playing around
Does
with
it come out carbonated, or is it just like
Yeah.
enough to just push it through the gun?
Oh no, it comes out carbonated.
You
There's-
pull it through the tap, or do you put it through the soda gun?
No, through the tap.
That's amazing.
It's actually on tap number 42.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so
Know
that's
what I'm
what's-
having next time?
That's really cool. Now, how do you present that? How is it served?
So that's going over ice in the copper mug. So the copper mug keeps it like super cold.
What is the tradition and history behind the copper mug?
It's just the Moscow Mule from Russia.
Okay.
It's a traditional cocktail. It's
Will that
on-
like get you sick to drink out of copper?
No.
Like lead, remember in the Roman times? They all
Maybe.
died so young.
Drove him crazy.
Yeah. No, these are safe. They're really cool looking. Like I said, I'm really hoping we don't get them stolen because they're very expensive.
Yeah.
But then we're also garnishing it with some crystallized or candied ginger.
That's beautiful. The only thing though is can you see the drink through it?
You can't.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe it was like copper lined with like a glass in the middle.
No, the,
No,
no, the
it's
copper,
gotta be real.
like, it really looks so cool. And
That's awesome.
Once you fill it with ice in the drink, the outside of it, gets a nice like frost on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with that one, and then we may keep it that same cocktail or change up the cocktail that we're pouring out of there, but we're gonna start doing those on the rag.
Isn't it weird how things trend? The Moscow Mule now is
It's
like I've
huge.
heard about it so much, and it's all I've been hearing people talk about. I actually there's a beer now that's being sold called the Krabby's Ginger Beer from England,
I saw some of that in our
and
refrigerator
it's
the other day.
absolutely flying.
I
you
don't know who at work had it, but I saw it in the refrigerator, and I was like, "Oh my god, I want to try this so bad," but I didn't want to take.
I think I know somebody who can get you some. But yeah, absolutely. I think and just shows me that people are starting to find that trend. I mean, who knew? I mean, it's interesting because you have a place like yours that just creates unbelievable rash of many different cocktails. And then you have someone such as Alex here who's be calling in soon, who's got all these crazy cocktails. But something like a Moscow Mule, it just brings that like common thread where it's kind of like craft beer, brings people in from out of the fold.
Right. I mean, it's just his cocktails are very like intricate for sure. But you can also tell like with some of them, like they're roughly based off of a classic cocktail.
Right.
Like if I'm looking at the Leviathan, which is one of the ones that we're going to be making with them, it's kind of based off of a Manhattan.
So explain some of this to me. What are these ingredients and what are they?
So Barbancourt is actually a rum agricole from Haiti.
Oh, okay.
It's aged in oak casks. We have the 8-year right here. It calls for the 4-year, but we couldn't find it, so we got the 8-year.
Uh-huh.
Carpana Antica formula is a form of like a sweet vermouth fortified wine.
That's interesting.
Yes, and it is, in my opinion, the best one to use. It brings such a richness to cocktails. Fresh orange juice, I mean, you wouldn't really ever see that in a Manhattan.
Right.
But then you've got bitters.
Because why not fresh OJ? Just because of the way that the consistency of it or the acid maybe?
Probably the acid, yeah. I mean, a typical Manhattan is, going to be 2 ounces of rye whiskey, the vermouth, orange bitters, regular bitters. So this is kind of like that with the rum.
It also changes the overall consistency of it.
Right, yeah.
Kind of like people never really could understand what's in a Bellini until you tell them it's peach juice. And then you're like, wow. But we're going to get all these answers real quick because I believe we have the 2012 International Bartender of the Year, Mr. Alex Catena, on the phone. Welcome to By the Glass Show, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Just got back off the kitchen.
Great. Thank you so much for calling in. I know you've been doing a whirlwind tour of America, and you've been going around inventing all these great drinks and all the wonderful Langham properties that you have here in the United States. How's your trip going?
My trip is going very well. I studied in LA, and I'm slowly making progress towards the end. So, I left New York for the last because it's an amazing city, which I love so much. And, yeah, it's been amazing, a lot of fun, a lot of drinks. I was preparing a lot of drinks. I wasn't drinking that much.
Do you like LA and the sunshine better, or you like the hustle bustle in New York more?
Oh my God, I love all of the cities. They
Yeah.
are very unique. It's great because Langham has properties in amazing cities. So, it's always a great visit.
Yes. Now, you're based at the Langham in London, correct?
That's correct.
Is that one of your, obviously London's one of the most amazing cities in the world, and I'm sure that's a wonderful property you have there.
Yeah, indeed. Langham London was the first Grand Hotel in Europe. It opened in 1865. It's also the flagship of the company. So, it's a place with incredible history. Everywhere where you look, there's a story behind it. So it's also very easy, to get inspired for all the drinks we do.
Yes, I understand it just went under a multi-million-dollar renovation, which you had a part in the bar, bringing it up to date and whatnot.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we spent a fair bit of that on the back bar.
Yeah, that's great. So wonderful drinks that you're creating, and definitely 2012 International Bartender of the Year. And so how did you create some of these drinks, and what are some of your influence decisions when you sit down to think of making a drink?
Yeah, I got inspired by the places. So, for Pasadena, I went really light because I had in mind, the weather, the beautiful fauna and flora. So I went for Lillet, French aperitif, fresh citrus, vetiver, rose water, these sort of ingredients. In Boston, I went a bit more heavier, funky, so interesting flavors like cedarwood and aquavit, various bitters. And New York, we're keeping really fresh. It's beautiful weather here today. So, we have some rhubarb with Fino sherry, bitter orange liqueur, a lot of fun.
Wow, that's amazing. So there is an event going on, the Tale of the Cocktail event, right? And you're going to have the team from the Deb Rabbit New York appearing with you. Did that already happen, or is that going on tonight?
Yeah, no, the event, there's several events actually we're doing with the guys from the Dead Rabbit.
Okay.
On the 11th of May, we have the opening event of MCC Manhattan Cocktail Classics. So I'll be again back here in New York. We're doing like a little box style event. So we're not going to be boxing, but we're going to be making cocktails against each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're doing a seminar down in New Orleans about running bars, of course.
Oh, great. Drink a couple cocktails and then kind of go at it, right?
Indeed.
Very interesting. You know, I have with me in studio, I have the lovely Paige Nash. She's one of our local and resident mixologists. Say hi, Paige.
Hello.
And she's here basically because we're not going to be able to mix these drinks. We sit here and pontificate on the radio, but the true art of mixology, I'm not very good at it. So we brought her in to help out. We're going to be making one of your drinks here tonight, or maybe even two. The Leviathan 2 and the Royal Cobbler we're going to get to in a little bit. Okay, just so you know.
Oh my God. Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, we were pretty much able to get most of the ingredients. You know, some of the things that we came across when we were looking for the ingredients, we want to ask you a couple questions about. Down here in Florida, we might be a little bit behind the times. What is vetiver? Vetiver.
Vetiver, it's a very interesting ingredient. It has a big connection to the perfume world. So it's an aromatic root which originates from Asia, and the fascinating thing about it is that obviously most of the perfume ingredients, they would be the leaves, the blossoms, things which grow overground, while this is a root. So it has a very earthy, very particular aroma, and a lot of famous perfumes, they actually feature that, but it's also amazing in a drink.
So is that like a cordial or some type of aromatized wine, or what exactly?
Basically, I make a cordial out of the.
Oh, excellent! So you make it out of it yourself. That's amazing.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. I mean,
I'm gonna FedEx you some.
It's interesting. I mean, that's a common thread that runs between, because as we first brought in Paige years ago and she came on our show, how she makes her own simple syrup and pulls stuff from the garden and whatnot. I imagine you're out there always looking for something interesting that you can turn into inspiration for your drinks, correct?
Definitely. I think we are only at the beginning. There's so many areas which we haven't tapped into yet as a bartenders. So that's what makes it very exciting, because there's so much there to explore.
That's fantastic. So tell me a little bit about how you got started. How did you get influenced into bartending?
Well, I never really wanted to be a bartender. I just needed to start to make money. And, what originally was a necessity very quickly became a passion. And, so as they say, the day you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life. I had it really easy because I retired at the age of 14. So, that was cool. I haven't worked since then.
That's
I'm
great.
just having a lot of fun.
You're doing what you love every day of your life. I can totally relate, my friend. That's fantastic. So that's great. So since you've been here in the U.S., what do you feel you've accomplished? I mean, you've come up with these wonderful drinks, and you've visited all these cities. I mean, have you done events in every city? How are the events been? How's it going?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we've been throwing one party after another. We've been doing a lot of stuff with media. But first of all, we're creating a little platform for people from different langhams around the world to be able to go around, see, get inspired, exchange ideas and inspiration, and of course to see, how people run their businesses in other places. So I'm here to learn.
Have you seen a renaissance in America? Much difference? I mean, how does it differ from the UK or Europe?
Oh, you have so many amazing bars. I wish I could stay here for half a year so I can visit all of them.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know. Speaking of bars, you were widely credited with reinventing the modern hotel bar and making it relevant to the 21st century. What does that mean in layman's terms?
Well, I think, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but we consistently provide great service, great drinks. We just taken a slightly different approach, hotel bars, they needed to relax a little, perhaps. And, it's, focusing on the guest is always the most important thing. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Sorry for the background noise, but she's starting to get ready here to make the Leviathan 2. So we've come up with the Bourbon Court rum and the Carpano Antica. How did you...
Oh, guys, I'm thirsty now.
Honestly, it's all Greek to me. I'll tell you, my friend. The Fresh OJ. We noticed that you use Fresh OJ. Some of these interesting adaptations on the traditional drinks that you use in your modern way of doing things. Talk to me a little bit about that, please.
Excuse me, sorry, I didn't catch that. The phone was breaking a little.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Repeat yourself. 1 second. Yeah, so I see here you used it for the Carpartego Antica, the Fresh OJ, and the bitters. Is that a little bit more of just a twist on the traditional methods, you think? Or
Yeah. Well, this is a twist on a very famous classic cocktail called Leviathan. It was invented in Paris by a guy called Rudolf Slavik. He was very, he's legendary Czech bartender, probably most important and most famous bartender ever to come from Czechoslovakia. So it was a little tribute to that.
Fantastic. Now, is that where you hail from, Czechoslovakia?
Indeed, yes.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Well, I've been over there. Wonderful, beautiful town, Prague. Absolutely gorgeous.
It was funny because when I was looking at the recipe, like I was saying earlier, like it really seemed like it was almost like a Manhattan.
Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he said. He definitely put his own twist on it.
Yeah.
and it's very, very cool. Very cool. So excellent. So you got to shake it up a little bit here. So she's gonna shake it up, and then we're gonna pour it out, and we're gonna see what these wonderful things taste like. Perfect. Now, let me ask you, as a mixologist, how do you feel about beer and craft beer and that whole craft beer revolution, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, obviously I come from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I love beer.
Yeah.
In the Czech Republic, you drink beer since you're.
But you know
very young age, no?
what's cool is it's just like most of Europe and even America, most people drank lagers for so long, and there was really not a different stylistically, And now
And
all
then
these
you
great new
export-
styles. It's kind of like the same concept with mixology, right?
Oh, definitely. I love craft beer, and I'm still exploring. There's so much there. I've been enjoying a lot of different IPAs here in US. So you guys leading it, definitely.
Wow, she made the drink and it's absolutely wonderful. The Leviathan too. This is
That's great.
You know what I love about it is it's got a lot of finesse to it, right?
It's got a nice bitterness to it.
Everything's well balanced, and
Yeah.
it has an overall. You can taste all the flavors involved. Is that something you try to achieve? When you're creating these drinks, Alex?
Of course. But what we must say is that it always tastes so much better when it's made by a beautiful lady like the one you just said.
Absolutely.
Aw.
Yes,
I'm getting there. I'm still learning.
Fantastic. So if you could offer a couple of short pieces of advice for the modern mixologist who's looking to become the bartender of the year, what would you say?
Oh my God! Never stop working and always smile.
There you go. That's great. That's fantastic. So what are your future plans for the Artesian in London and beyond? What's next for Alex Gratina?
Well, obviously now is the time of the year where there's a lot of conventions, so keep on traveling on my days off to see new things, give some talks, and we are launching our new menu. So that's very exciting.
Must keep you very, very busy. Are you like the mad scientist? You have like a laboratory full of just all kinds of roots and berries and spirits everywhere, and all that kind of thing in your lab.
Paige does.
When I'm at work, I'm talking and making drinks, and when I'm asleep, I dream about them. So it's a continuous process.
That's fantastic. So absolutely amazing, Mr. Alex Gratina calling in here and just sharing all his wonderful inspirations with us. And you heading back to London soon?
Not until Sunday.
Oh, that's great. So you enjoy a wonderful weekend in New York, one of the best cities in the world. And you said the weather's great up there, huh?
Exactly.
Fantastic. Well, we can't thank you enough for calling in. And do you have something you want to plug? Are you like, I saw when I watched a couple of your YouTube videos that it said bowls in the background. Are you represent any specific spirit company?
No. I represent all of them because I like everything.
Yeah, okay, so
That's a
you're
good answer.
That's a great answer.
That is a great
alcohol,
answer.
yes.
So we'll just associate you with the Langham then when it comes to a brand.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day, sir.
And you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for
Thank
calling in
you.
By the Glass Show. All right, take care. Wow, what a great guy.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, and a lot of inspiration. He really knows how to be interviewed. A lot of people don't. He answers the question and then, goes on.
Nice answer.
It's just, wow, what a concept. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue on. Paige is going to make the Royal Cobbler. What'd you guys think of the Leviathan, too?
Like it. Well, first of all, I like a cold drink today. It's getting a little bit warmer here in Florida.
It is starting
and
to get warm.
I'm really like the cold cocktails, cold shaken drinks like this.
Yeah, it's in the vein of more modern mixology, wouldn't you say?
It is, yeah. They always say that kind of European or American palates aren't quite ready for the bitterness, but I think we really
Yeah.
are starting to move towards that. You know, I have so many people now who are like, oh, can you make a Negroni? I love Negronis. And it's cool to see that. And I think this cocktail is a nice representation of a nicely balanced, but like that nice bitterness.
And bitters in general are such a big part of mixology, correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people don't really understand bitters, but they really kind of like act akin to like spices. when you're
Yeah,
cooking.
it's pretty amazing when I read on Hemingway and all his influence with
Oh,
bitters.
yes.
He's just the number one man, and he knows how to take bitters to the next level, that guy.
And I think it's because of the growth of the popularity of the IPA. And now we're seeing, the bitterness in
Resonance
IPA.
and
It
flavor
resonates.
profile.
Yeah.
Now
Bitters
it transfers
in.
over to like bitters in drinks.
That's fantastic, absolutely.
You know, that's a really awesome observation, actually, because it seems like since people are
You win a
starting to
prize.
like yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty great. But since people have kind of embraced IPAs, their palates have kind of embraced some more bitter cocktails as well.
And I noticed this kind of is similar to a lot of the drinks made with the more Renaissance style liqueurs, right? So gins and bourbons, so to speak, rye whiskeys and whatnot. Those types of things are more used these days to make drinks. I know that we use rum in this one, but
Well, and this rum is actually pretty similar to like a bourbon
or
because
cognac, right?
right into a cognac because it's actually aged in oak.
Yeah, it gives it that spicy flavor. Those
You know.
phenols are coming out.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's why he uses it. Very interesting. And you get the rum sweetness a little bit, and then you get the spicy phenols, and you can enhance them with the ingredients that we
Very
use.
different than what you get in most bars. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Very
Fantastic.
good.
Yeah. All right, so we'll come back. I'll take a quick break, but when we do, we're going to have Paige Nast in studio, our resident mixologist, and she's going to continue to make us some wonderful drinks. The Royal Cobbler, which it calls for a stork, folks. Absolutely. Yeah.
Calls for a stork.
Yeah, nobody said dork, George.
How about a baby?
Well, they might get a
There's-
baby in
Say.
it, like a king cake. just bite in and find out. When we come back on By the Glass Show on SoFloRadio.com.
The most listened to radio station on the web. SoFloRadio.com.
Hi, this is George. Trying to get laid all day makes me hungry, so I go to Power Smoothie in Aventura and get the healthiest wraps and most delicious smoothies ever made. I mean, really, the smoothies are so insanely delicious, they're orgasmic. The staff is friendly there and cute. The food is healthy and real, not processed. This is not fast food, it's good food served fast. And they love me there. They even let me create my own smoothie, the Malted Jorge. Go in and ask for one. They're in the Promenade Shops right off of US 1 in Aventura, or call them at 305-792-5338. You can also visit them online at powersmoothieaventura.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Say, remember when radio was fun?
Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com. And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey, back in the USSR, what was that all about?
It's well, the Czech Republic used to be part of the USSR, so there. That's my connection, and I'm sticking with it.
Crimea River.
Yeah, Crimea River. Oh,
Crimea River.
I posted a
No, absolutely.
I posted a Crimea joke.
Yeah, we can't thank Alex for calling in enough.
Yeah, you can.
We get well. Thank you for calling in.
You just did that.
He did a great job, and he's on a whirlwind tour. What a great life, gets to travel around making drinks.
I read something on the info on him that he was doing for a little while, like a guest bartending gig on Virgin Atlantic.
I know, it was like
on airplanes.
Yeah, it's like
somebody told me just yesterday that I should be a bartender because of my personality, and I like to talk to people, and I like to be a good host.
They would just never get their
and
drink.
Everything. And I said I can't be a bartender. I can't make change. I've got a math. Stupid thing in my brain. I can't process.
I'm math
yeah,
stupid.
no, I mean, no. I when I worked at Burger King when I was a teenager, like my drawer was always off, and I got yelled at all the time. And even when it tells you what to count out, it's like I can't do this. I can't do math.
Don't feel bad. Paige forgot her whole kit when she came here.
No.
That's okay. Because she knew that we have all this stuff.
That's right.
Yeah,
I just wanted to challenge
she knew it in the
myself.
back of her head because every time she comes, we say, hey, don't worry about that next time. So in the back of her brain, but it's funny because I'm like, George, you got everything ready to go? And he's like, don't worry about Paige. She always brings all her
She
gear.
brings stuff, but
I brought all the important stuff.
We're lucky that we're very happy that we had everything.
We got we got the knife, the cutting board, the mixers, the shakers, the muddlers.
George, what's the only thing we don't got that a bar's
Wait,
got?
what's the only thing that a bar has that SoFlo Radio doesn't have?
I don't know.
A liquor license.
Oh.
We even have professional bartenders.
It's unbelievable. Welcome back to By the Glass Show, folks. This is a show about beverage culture. We come to you every Thursday at 6 on SoFlo Radio and ByTheGlassShow.com. If you haven't noticed already, we have a very laid-back demeanor. We like to sit around and talk about booze and even drink some from time to time. But it's all educational, and it's all for you to learn. It's amazing. I've been going to classes and getting certifications for years. I have to pay for all that stuff. But you can just tune in to By the Glass Show on SoFlo Radio at 6 or anytime and listen to our archives and get a complete dissertation from the professionals. It's not me, guys, giving it to you. It's always a pro. I always get the winemaker, the brewmaster, the mixologist. I got them all. The spirit distiller. They're all here for you to give you the facts on their products, and it's absolutely wonderful, and it's a great way to spend.
This is a very educational show. It turned me into a pseudo in less than a year.
Yeah, you went
a pseudo-intellectual drink aficionado.
That's a great term. That's awesome.
I learned méthode de champenois from Brett.
Yeah, I told you, just use that at parties, man.
Secondary fermentation in the bottle. I know that's.
Méthode de champenois.
That's right. I can go to the fancy parties where people clench their molars. It's like, oh.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
What makes something a bourbon? It doesn't necessarily have to be distilled in Kentucky, you see, although different countries have different standards.
I remember the first time, and I kind of feel like a jerk, but I was in Total Wine, and and I was looking at all the bourbons and stuff, and seeing if there's anything new that I hadn't tasted yet, and this guy started talking to me, and he's like, Jack Daniels, Gentleman Jack. He's like, that's just my favorite bourbon. It's the best one out. You have to try it.
It's not a bourbon, stupid. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Pretty much. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
we're snobs. Thanks to this show.
He was like,
Brett.
thanks, little girl.
Yeah, thanks, little girl. Pat, pat, pat. But it's not.
Well,
it's not at all.
It is not. No. And, the fact of the matter is that most people out there don't really understand the difference between things. And it's not that people want to be snotty, the reason that Jack Daniels
No, it just comes off naturally.
It's just that, there's subtle differences between beverages, beers and wines and whatnot. And I tell people all the time, those differences are not because people want to make some different. It's just how they developed over time in the world. The difference between something that's aged and something that's not had to do with the fact that they had to put it in a barrel, and we had the guy here last week, Rob Burr. He said, they would put the clear rum in the barrel and drink that first. By the time 3 months or 4 months down the line on the ship, they got to the rum that's been sitting in the barrel for 4 months. They're like, wow, this brown stuff tastes a lot better. It naturally fermented in the barrel, and they just figured it out from trying it. Same way with anything else. So all those differences that you find in beverages and spirits and whatnot have to do with years thousands of years of them being created and us enhancing them and enjoying them. So that's what the show's all about. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Sorry,
you very
somebody
much.
gave me that carousel, and I felt
George
bad
has the
not
most
using
wonderful carousel over here, and it's
it. You're supposed to be able to like just push up with the glass.
yeah, most
with your
people have like
container.
a little carousel with the horsies on
Yeah,
it.
no, I got-
George's includes
It's kinda freaking
booze.
me
A
out.
carousel of booze with absinthe in it.
I saw that.
As if booze weren't enough.
It's almost out.
I don't think that was there last time I was here.
Yeah, it was.
The
It's been there for a
absinthe.
long time. Nobody wants it.
That whole wormwood thing is another perfect example of what I was talking about. Now, why would someone make a booze out of literally, it's not wood, folks. They call it wormwood. But it was the only thing that grew in that part of the world that they could actually ferment the sugar into alcohol out of.
Yeah,
Just so happens the byproduct of that
yeah.
created a psychedelic effect. Just
Sure.
so happens.
You want me
Right,
to
George?
explain to you why people take psychedelic things?
No, this is a
Okay,
family
'cause-
show all about
right.
booze and not drugs.
Right. It's like, why would those people that lived a long time ago when they
right.
had polio and plague, why would they want to drink that?
That's on Fridays at noon.
Okay.
Okay. On the George Rodriguez show.
Tomorrow,
I
as a
wanna
matter of
hear it.
fact.
Yeah. So you've been on the George Rodriguez show. How
Yeah,
was that?
she
Was that
has.
fun?
That was awesome.
Yeah, you had a good
Honestly,
time?
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll
Cool.
do that again.
My mom listened to it, and I was.
Yeah, really? Let your mom listen to that?
Yeah, that's what I said. She was texting me like, "Oh, thanks for the shout out," and I was like, "Oh my god, you heard that?" After you were.
Of course you have a cool mom.
Sometimes you almost
Yeah.
forget you're on the radio.
I would be surprised if you didn't have a cool mom.
My mom's the best.
So what do we got going on over here?
All right, so we're gonna make the Royal Cobbler.
Okay.
So this cocktail has a little bit of lemon, thyme, some melon, Lillet Blanc, which is a fortified wine, and the Royal Stork.
Wow. Royal
Yes.
Stork, which is basically a form of gin.
I believe so from the research I did on it. What I found.
You mean we don't know? Unknown liquor? And we're going to try it?
It's kind of like an Old Tom
We don't
gin
know
from
everything,
what I
unfortunately.
understand.
Okay.
Okay.
That would have been a good question for Alex, though.
Yeah, the Royal Stork. So we substituted a little bit of gin for the Royal Stork, but I'm sure it'll taste just dandy. So interesting. I wonder why they use the word cobbler. I guess it comes out tasting somewhat of a dessert.
No, a cobbler is kind of a style of cocktails where you use different fruits and stuff like that. It's booze based. Like a lot of them are like a peach cobbler with like,
Okay.
some whiskey, peaches, stuff like that. And they typically, if you look at the picture, the garnishes are usually pretty elaborate.
I guess melon, lemon, and sugar, works for everything. So
Right.
perfect. So shake it up and let's
All right.
get
Let's do it.
down over here. I love that. You don't even. This isn't like a sound effect.
No, it's like when I used to call radio bingo. It really had a bingo cage. It's funny because it's true.
That's awesome.
Although that's her ringtone.
Is it really?
Paige calls me.
on your phone.
On my
Tell
phone,
me
yeah.
you
Of course.
changed the picture.
I did not change the picture. Although I could be talked into that.
Okay.
I'd be brought. It's a great picture. It's awesome. I'll just have to show you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's I
Yeah,
mean,
but don't worry about it. But you can't get to the drink.
well,
Here, George, think you can.
I'll
George
strong
will
arm it.
Manhandle that.
George will manhandle it. Just don't get it all over
That's the
yourself
reason they
and
call
me,
it. That's the reason they call it.
so to speak. So we have some interesting stuff going on. So you're making new cocktails too, huh? Let's try this one, and then we'll get to that.
Well, I'm not making those, but those are actually coming out on Monday at
Okay.
the restaurant.
I'm gonna
Yes.
super glue that.
How does that work? I don't think. Do you think that we need to wash out these glasses, or you can take some new ones from over there if you like?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, at Tap 42, where you are the resident mixologist, and the new ones come out now. There's a menu with all kinds of great craft drinks on there and mixology.
Right, yeah. So basically, I mean, it's something that we're always looking
What's
at.
the term for like a drink these days? Is it a
I mean, I call it a cocktail.
cocktail, right?
I mean, it's a
still a cocktail. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Why not?
Figure. Okay.
But
Craft cocktail, whatever. Yeah.
basically, like, I felt really solid with our list for a long time. Like, what I set out in the beginning to do is to really create something that adds something for everyone and not be too pretentious and, not kind of scare people away, especially as we're a beer bar.
Right.
So, to kind of make cocktails approachable there, without drawing people away. So we've had a great list for a while. We've changed it a couple times. We're trying to look to, just change a few things seasonally. So that's basically what we're doing with this. Like we had a hot cocktail on for when it was quote unquote cold.
What
here.
does what does that entail?
Sorry.
Like something with spice in it, or?
No, it was actually like a hot cocktail. We
okay,
actually
warm.
we installed a hot water kind of like faucet thing behind the bar.
Oh,
so
that's
we could
neat.
do that. Yeah, and
Kind of like you can get tea out of the coffee machine.
Yeah,
like hot water for tea. that
yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. It was kind of like exactly that. And so obviously we're taking that off the menu because
Yeah.
no one really wants to
It's
drink
only like
that
a
right
million
now.
degrees outside.
Yeah. So what we did with our new additions.
Smells good.
We already talked about the one on tap.
Yes.
So that's with the ginger, and that's super refreshing for summer. And then we have 2 new ones that are starting.
Let me ask you about that cocktail a little bit more.
Okay.
So the steeping of the ginger, did you regulate that to where it wasn't too bitter? Because I noticed with these new ginger beers, not the ginger soda, but an alcoholic ginger beer, the one like we talked about, the Krabbies, that bites your tongue.
Oh, really?
It's good. I mean, if you just drink it straight, but you're supposed to pour it on ice with a slice. You know what I mean? And it dilutes it a little bit. So but I mean, if you just pour it, like
Slice
if
of
you
what?
drink it warm out of the bottle, it can, ginger. It's ginger.
I would imagine, yeah. Like even the candied ginger that we're using as the garnish, it's got a kick to it.
Yeah, it's
You
got a
know?
little bite, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's really like it's refreshing.
No, absolutely.
know?
Like when I eat sushi and I have a slice of ginger,
Oh, yeah.
it's not too biting, but for some reason over time, ginger can get a healthy.
Yeah, I like that
bite to it.
effect. I mean,
No, that's great.
ginger.
Yeah, I
Nice.
mean,
So cleansing.
We didn't leave it in too long, and when I first started making it with the ginger liqueur that we kind of played around with, I just didn't get enough of the ginger that I wanted, because a lot of the ginger you get from a traditional Moscow Mule will be from that ginger beer,
Right.
and since we weren't using that because we're carbonating it ourselves, I kind of wanted to bring it out more. So then we did that infusion for about a week, and it got to that point where it was perfect, and we made a big batch of it. So we've made 2 kegs of it, and when one kicks, we'll throw on the other one and fill it up. So it's pretty
We'll see
exciting.
how it goes.
It was a nice little science experiment, I have to say.
That sounds fun. So Royal Cobbler we're drinking here. You just made us some wonderful. So Lillet or Lillet Blanc. Explain to me what the Lillet Blanc is. So I think that's what I'm smelling initially here, right? I've seen that before.
Yes. The Lillet Blanc, it's a French aperitif, actually. So it's a fortified wine.
Okay.
It's aromatic. I feel it's a great replacement for like a dry vermouth
Okay, perfect.
in a cocktail, but
This tastes like
probably
the
gonna need
best
time.
lemonade I've ever had.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
it's a
just-
little
it's
lemon, lime, and I think
but
it's
it's
the
just-
time.
yeah,
thinking, right?
I would say it's the time.
fancy.
It kinda gives it
It's
that
got a lot
savory.
of flavor, like different flavors in it, but just
that tastes like 1,000 times better than it smells.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's
Not
way
that it smells
lighter.
bad, but
It's
I'm
very
saying
way lighter
light.
than it smells.
Yeah.
it's not that it smells bad, but it tastes like wow. That really
Mm-hmm.
tastes good. I'm loving this.
Yeah, it is. It's actually very light. And I'm interested to see how it would taste with that Royal Stork.
I could
Yeah.
drink a lot of this and get into trouble.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
one is actually pretty boozy, too.
Yeah, I mean this is one that
Did
you
you
can
say
definitely
boozy?
have
Yeah.
in the summertime.
Yeah, this is a great summer drink.
Good. I hope that Ed is going to put these drinks up, or maybe Jason can put these up on the website. Jason.
I want the punch bowl full of this.
Yeah, we have
At the
these.
party.
Ed, why don't you send Jason all the notes on these drinks, and then we can post these. Guys, you should go to buytheglassshow.com. I always have up-to-date news. I have all kinds of blog posts and everything. We can definitely post all kinds of different interesting stuff. You're not going to find these kinds of drinks other than his webpage. I mean, but good luck making them. I mean,
Yeah, I have to say, like, this one was
What?
definitely
yeah.
This
one
is
thing,
challenging.
one thing I noticed that instead of using he'll use port and sherry, and cacao, right, but no like liquor of any sort. He'll use
well, the Talisker is a Scotch.
Oh, it is okay.
Right, and so the port and sherry are both, fortified wines.
What about the akavit?
Akavit is, I believe that's a Russian liqueur.
Okay, so he is using a liquor because I noticed it's a pheno, a citrus, a cedar wood, and bitters, and I'm like, interesting. I'm trying to find this one here. He uses pheno, which is sherry, rhubarb, citrus, agave, and bitter orange. There's really no main spirit in there,
Right. I
You
mean,
know, which is
pheno.
kind of interesting and breakthrough as far as I'm concerned. To not use, I would never think to not use a spirit. I mean, I'm sure you have, but
Well, he may be making his own kind of liqueur with
Okay.
the rhubarb, or like he said with the vetiver.
yeah,
Which
that was
I asked one of my good friends that knows even much more than I do. I was like, "Have you ever heard of vetiver?" I was like, "Can you help me try to find these ingredients?" And then I was like,
Let me ask you
"I
a
don't
question.
know."
If you could get your hands on some vetiver, would you consider maybe using it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I would play around with any kind of like
This
spirit.
guy's inspirational, right? In that sense.
For sure. I mean, these recipes, especially like the little anecdotes explaining them, are just, they're really cool. Like the one says it was inspired by like the fires of Chicago. So
Yeah.
it's using like those rich flavors.
He certainly had that wit and that flair. You know,
Definitely.
I could tell he wasn't as he might have had a few drinks last night because I've watched his YouTube videos, folks. Go to Alex Kratena, Kratena, and he's like on fire behind the bar. He's like looks like Roger Rabbit back there, like bouncing around, making all kinds of drinks. So I'm actually kind of glad he was a little more subdued because he would just answer the question and get on with it.
So he probably doesn't have to make change anymore. He's at that level. He doesn't have to.
I don't think he's taking money at all. Most people in there have like an
So can I
account
just
with the bar.
Skip right to that level.
You're talking about, if you read about it, I mean, like this place, the Langham in London, it's an award-winning establishment, like right in the West End, like in the heart of the West End. You're talking about like really high end. So I think everybody has like an account with the bar. Like James Bond strolls up and says, "Oh,
Don't
hello,
ask me
Alex."
to pay.
Yeah, exactly. I have an account with the bar. I mean, really, James.
That's on here.
Do you know who I am?
Fantastic. Okay, so going forward here, now, so you got some new cocktails you want to talk about, and these are going to be hitting the menu anytime now?
On Monday.
On Monday. So
Yes.
talk to me about these interesting ones. Now, I love the word shandy. That just makes me feel like I'm in a tropical paradise.
There we go. Like I was talking about, we try to do things a little kind of seasonal. And so the first one that we're coming out with is the Superfruit Shandy. Shandy, obviously, or for those of you who don't know, it's a mix between a wheat beer and lemonade. So we kind of took a spin on this, and this was actually something that I came up with our new beer director at TAP. His name's Bobby, and we were kind of just behind the bar, like kind of bouncing ideas off each other. And I was playing with some Vive Acai Spirit, and we were talking about shandy, so I was like, why don't we try this? And I used some Vive, just some lemon, and then some Purple Haze, actually.
Ah, a little Purple Haze?
Yeah, Purple
Is
Haze.
that a
actually,
beverage?
George always loved
Beer.
Purple Haze even before the beer came out.
Oh, that's right. There's a beer.
Yes, the beer.
That might be in the fridge.
I
even.
meant
Yeah,
the Jimi
Hey, we're
Hendrix
not-
song.
We're not in Denver, okay?
Who needs Denver?
I'm wondering when they
mean-
legalize marijuana, am I going to do a marijuana show?
I hope so.
Right?
I've done them.
Yeah, but I'm a corporate guy, and this is a
Yeah,
family show.
this is a corporation.
Yeah,
I own a corporation. I'm a corporate
we
guy.
don't do anything illegal around here. So.
Not at all.
But I mean, once it's legal,
licensed.
maybe I should do one. It's a craft
We're
thing.
licensed and vetted.
I'll try to find an expert somewhere on it and let them handle
During
it.
Gotta
the
license that now.
Oh, here's one.
During the George Rodriguez show, George Rodriguez actually sat out, and Ivan Bad hosted a smoke-in to raise consciousness and awareness for medicinal marijuana. And we had Flash, the member of NORML, one of the ranking people of NORML, and an advocate for medicinal marijuana, be on the show.
actually
And
said
it
raise
was on 420.
unconsciousness
It was on
for
420,
medicinal-
which is coming up again. So who knows? It just happened to 420 fell on Friday.
Oh, Tap 42 is going to have a 420 event with the Sweetwater brand.
They've already got 420. You can't spell 420 without 42.
Did you know about that? Oh, I thought
No.
they were.
Sweetwater Brewing.
Sweetwater Brewing, yeah. I thought somebody said that to me.
They're everywhere, by the way. Sweetwater.
That came from Brett, by the way.
boom.
That didn't come from Paige. So just in
Yeah,
case
I'll
it
just
doesn't
check on
happen.
that. I'm not
Some
sure.
rumor.
I'll take the heat on that one. Anyway.
We went to that Sweetwater party, and now they're everywhere. I see Sweetwater signs, Sweetwater.
Oh yeah, we went to the
Oh,
party.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we went to the party. Well, it's cool, and they got the whole 420 thing, and of course they get to promote the 420. And according to the guy that owns the place, the Freddie, he says that just because the beer was created on 420, it's got nothing to do with
Right.
anything else. So we'll stick to that, okay? Because this is a family show. Anyway, so the shandy is invented. It's a German thing, right?
Yes. Typically, yeah, like Leinenkugel is the line that a lot of people know for
Right.
the shandy. So we kind of just played around with that idea and decided to do a superfruit shandy with the Vive. It's an acai spirit.
Oh, it's
so
awesome. What does
acai-
that mean?
What?
Acai spirit.
Acai? I mean, acai is that fruit, kind of like a pomegranate.
Oh, acai. Okay, I
Yeah.
always call it like acai or something like that. I'm saying it wrong.
No, it's actually acai. And
Acai.
that's
I
what
know.
we
I
all
never knew how to
linked
pronounce that. I would just read
Yeah.
it. I just saw it written.
Yeah, it's,
I never.
I'm glad
I'm
I
not
heard
even gonna
that
pretend that I. Yeah,
before
I'm
I
glad that
tried
you
to-
said it, not me.
Before I tried to pronounce it wrong, I looked like that.
Well,
guy.
no,
at Total Wine.
it's a little A with a funky thing. I mean, what is
Yeah.
that little thing, right? How do you even do that, right? It's like an A. Is that like
not-
Brazilian or what
it's
is
not
that?
Spanish.
I think
Might
it
be
actually
Portuguese.
is Brazilian.
Okay.
Then it's
Yeah.
Portuguese. Those Portuguese, man, they're always.
Yeah, man. They're always like taking languages and just molding them into their own.
But it's a really cool spirit actually. It's not quite a vodka. It's not quite a gin. It's somewhere in between.
Ooh,
That's cool.
that
So
sounds
it's kind
very
of its own little
compelling for some of us gin drinkers.
Yes.
Well, the interesting thing about gin and vodka is you start with a neutral spirit, then you put all the spices in it, it becomes gin. But if
Right.
you kind of like don't leave it as vodka, but don't quite make it gin, you have a interesting
spirit of its own. There you go.
So
So-
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then the purple haze just complements it really nice.
That's
So,
great. I'm glad to hear that. That's good. So-
Yeah.
And that is a raspberry wheat beer, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And that was actually like one of the first craft. Believe it or not, that was like one of the first craft beers like I really liked and got into. And,
Yeah.
and I don't like wheat beers at all, but it's a wheat ale and it's nice and clean and crisp.
Yeah, you know the interesting thing is I like traditional German Hefeweizens like a
See, I don't.
Weihenstephaner.
Oof.
Well, it's because of the clove and banana, the clove
Ugh.
phenol. It's got that spicy kind of like medicinal flavor, right?
Yeah,
It kinda
I
throws
can't
you
do
off. I only drink it if it's really fresh, but I can only have like one because there's no hop balance to it
Yeah.
for me, you know. But they came out, the Schneider Weiss Brewery came out with a Brooklyner Weiss, which is actually they got together with Brooklyn Brewery and they make the Brooklyner Weiss, and it's actually an American style IPA mixed with the German Hefeweizen, and what it does is it gives a hop balance. So it's almost like a Dunkelweizen with an IPA mix.
Oh wow.
It's such a great beer, and they sell it everywhere around
That sounds
here.
so interesting.
Yeah, I think
gotta try that.
Sells it. Somebody you can get it pretty
Yeah.
easily. Yeah, and it's amazing. It's an amazing beer. So Honey Teas. That sounds like somebody that George ran into lately.
Yeah, I don't
on
go to
Hollywood
those
Boulevard.
places. Prostitute Row right over here.
I
She
think
does-
that name is like my crowning achievement because I'm terrible at naming
So
things.
you came up with Honey Teas.
I
You gotta
did.
tell us the name. How'd you come up with that?
I can find it. Like I tried, I don't know, a bunch of terrible names, and finally I was like, well, because this actually we should probably explain what's in it.
Sure.
It's made out of Spring 44 honey vodka,
Okay.
and then a chamomile grappa actually,
Ooh,
which is
wow.
amazing.
You know, grappa, I think. Do you think grappa will become like a big spirit in the United States?
I actually do think it will, kind of with the emergence of this product because it's taken grappa that typically. That's something that really
It's very
turns.
intense.
It's very intense. It typically really turns people off.
Yeah.
This is like
Kind of like George.
All the time.
Just kidding.
No.
Anyway, left me open for that one.
I'm sorry. No, like this stuff is honestly amazing.
Well, the interesting thing about grappa is once they're done making their, they put the grapes in there, they make the wine, and they take that and they distill it, they make the brandy. But then all the schlub left over in the bottom, they take it and add more yeast and re-ferment it, and they make this really super intense spirit called grappa. And
So it's like
it's Italian.
what would you? What's
Yes.
the so is it like a brandy liqueur?
It's
What
a
would you
digestive.
approximate it to? Like what?
Digestivo.
Okay.
So,
So
I
it's-
mean,
well,
It's
you know,
sweet.
it's
Is it
actually,
really
you know
sweet?
what? If you took away the anise
You
flavor
got-
of Uso,
yes.
yeah.
that's Greek grappa.
So
And
like syrup.
But the good thing about the Uso that I like is that it has that licorice flavor,
I like licorice.
like anise.
Yeah, I'd
with
like
like an
that.
anise.
Sambuca.
Grappa doesn't
Sambuca,
have that.
yeah.
It's just an intense. It's
There's
like moonshine.
there's nothing else that you can like.
Yeah, it's weird
It tastes like
Because
grappa.
it's
I want to go out and get some right
because
now.
it's made from stems and seeds and pips of grapes.
Okay.
And that's where they make the spirit from. They have a very distinct flavor. It's kind of like brandy has a very distinct flavor as opposed to bourbon because one's made with corn and grain and the other one's made with grapes. If you intensify that grape flavor of the brandy, it's dry and it's intense and it has a very herbal,
Right.
earthy aspect to
Yes.
it, which can be just overwhelming. But I would imagine that this wonderful chamomile grappa is.
It's made from Mila. That's the brand that actually makes it, and it's a fairly new product, but it's just. I can't explain how good it is because chamomile.
Wow.
Once I tasted it, I was like, I have to do a cocktail with this. And the person who brought it to me, I was like, I never would have thought of this, but like, this is awesome.
Well, we're gonna have to get some for the show, huh?
It sounds great. We'll have a
Yeah.
grappa show.
Yeah.
There we go.
'Cause I've never had it.
You
and
hook,
I'm
us up
really-
you hook us up with the rep who
curious.
brought it to you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll have her come in.
So
and
my
just-
drink's empty. Do we have enough booze? And
Of
because
course.
Paige is here.
I brought all the booze. I just forgot my tools.
That's okay. We got tools.
So.
I'm like so dry.
So the
right
Spring
now.
44 honey vodka. Now, is that a vodka that's actually distilled from honey? That they
No, it's not a
Okay.
mead. It actually comes out of. Why is this escaping me right now? Colorado.
Okay.
I believe
okay.
yes, Colorado Spring 44. And their water is some of the purest water that they have, and that's the water is the base of whether it's beer.
I know
or
this.
bourbon.
Is this the blue collar line? No. No.
Blue Collar.
Blue Collar is the spirits, the actual
No.
company that sells it. No, okay.
No, it's Spring 44. They make bourbons. They make a gin that's
and
great.
they make a mezcal too.
No.
No, okay. I got another guy that does it. Okay,
No, but this honey vodka, I'm not usually someone who goes for flavored things. I mean,
Right.
it's hard to get that by me, but this tastes like real honey, and it's it's just an awesome product. Great people behind it. So we have that with that chamomile grappa, a little bit of lemon, and then we garnish it with some frozen grapes.
Wow.
So,
wow,
That sounds yummy.
Wild.
yeah. So that was another thing that we kind of tinkered with was the garnish. The garnish and the name were like the one thing that we all couldn't agree on. And
But it's really all about the bells and whistles at the end of the day. If you're in a place like Tap 42 and you want to bring things to the next level, I mean, you get that creation, the creativity in the glass, but then the way that you present it is so important. Correct?
It is, yes. I believe it definitely is. But there's like two trains of thought on that, and kind of
Really?
Yes, because some people are like, well, that's the first thing I take out of my drink.
Okay.
It's the garnish, But if it's
Well,
a really
they
cool
put
garnish,
parsley on my plate, but I don't have to eat it.
yeah.
Right. No, I like the garnish.
Well, I was gonna do like edible flowers. No one's gonna eat them, but
I might.
they look really cool.
They're edible, right? Didn't you just say?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no one's really.
I'm eating that. I eat the garnish. I love it. Especially, I like big garnishy Bloody Mary. I like extra olives in my martini.
I have to show you a picture then. Of
Oh
something
no,
really funny.
the pizza, and
Yeah.
the wings, and everything. I shared that. It's actually, I don't know if you noticed. It's actually the Bloody Mary is garnished with another Bloody Mary in it. You gotta look closely.
That's
it's like,
intense.
yeah, they got
It's like a
wings and
cheeseburger.
onion rings and a cheeseburger on there, and then of course olives. A whole bunch.
So
of
wouldn't that
olives.
be cool though? I mean, think about it. I mean, like order a Bloody Mary with the cheeseburger that you order. Like you can
Why
order
not?
it like as one thing, and then like it has a cheeseburger
They
on
got-
the stick. That comes out in the Bloody Mary as the garnish. I mean, that's kind of
skewers.
fun.
Everything was skewered in there. That's great. It was a nice
Do you
balancing
think,
act.
Let me ask you a question. I know it's cheesy, no pun intended, but would that something like that work at like Tap 42 if you wanted to do something like that, just to be
know what?
hokey and funny?
We are probably the most open-minded group of individuals, and yes, I mean, maybe not that.
Maybe not that
extravagant,
crazy with the pizza.
Right, but I mean something.
But we would
similar
do
to that
something
effect.
off the wall like that, maybe for a special night or something. All the time,
Like
perhaps
wings.
it'll work. Yeah,
Because that's easy.
yeah.
Well, you could take like the celery stick and like deep fry it, like chicken fried celery stick, or, like whatever. You know what I mean?
Brutal.
Like,
But to be honest, on our bottomless brunches, I don't think people
they
really
don't care, huh?
know.
You guys are just so successful with those things.
Oh man.
Oh man, what a great time! So I
So-
want to thank everybody for being involved here. Definitely Alex Cretena for calling in. I know he's a very busy man. I mean, hey, he was the 2012 International Bartender of the Year. The guy travels all over the world making drinks for people. I thought I had a great job. And definitely Paige Nast for coming in. She is our resident mixologist. She always comes in. She always definitely just knocks it out of the park with all these wonderful drinks. She definitely incorporated a lot of talent into making these awesome two different drinks that we're going to put up on the By the Glass Show website. We can't thank her enough for coming in, very busy, and taking her time to come in and share
No, thank you. I'd
all this
love
wonderful
to
talent
anytime.
with everybody. And I also want to thank Ed Roberts, of course, as usual, for putting together another great show. Definitely a lot of thanks to
Yeah,
Ivan
Ed.
Bad for showing up and just being a hell of a guy. And thank you, my wonderful audience, for listening and tuning in every Thursday at 6 o'clock to Buy the Glass Show on SoFloRadio.com for another educational piece of wonderful beverage culture. And we're more than happy
Very
to be there for you.
educational.
Please do not drink and drive. Do not overconsume. If you're going to go see Paige, get the taxi home. It's well worth it. We don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Get in the
Enjoy all
taxi.
these wonderful drinks responsibly and have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week. We got a winemaker. Woohoo!
Grappa.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.